So guys, currently walking down the marina front where all the restaurants are. You wouldn't think there was like a global pandemic as it sees. Like every restaurant is like near like full capacity. Like people don't go around, people are distancing, people wearing masks, respecting the rules, but like compared to what it's like back home, it's just completely different scenes. Like it's absolutely mental. I mean, it's lovely to see, don't get me wrong, but you do kind of look at it and think, well, like, just goes to show you don't need an NHS track and trace system to make it work, because it seems to be working well here. Obviously people wear masks, it's respectful. I suppose that's a bit different at home. People don't really respect the situation or the severity of it. But yeah, so just wanted to like obviously just fill you guys in on what it's like around here. I know a couple of people have been messaging me asking how it works in terms of like the mask situation and obviously restaurants, bars. As far as I'm aware, there's like a curfew still. So like bars and restaurants I think have to be closed by 1 AM. But I was speaking to a bartender in a bar just, I think it's called Camden Town, I think I was in. He was basically from Birmingham as well, so that was a small world. He was from just outside of Moseley. So same city, less than 10 miles from where I live. And he was saying that like they do these like private villas, so like everywhere will close at 1 o'clock. And then like if you suppose know the right people or in the right place, basically there's like a private villa, you pay an entrance fee, you basically pay for a table and obviously you drinks, and from 2 AM till like 7 in the morning obviously you can carry on drinking, so the curfew doesn't actually apply to everyone. Weirdly enough, last night I was out late, I had a cigarette about I think 2:30, and I saw a group of I think lads with a couple of girls getting into a taxi at like 2:30 in the morning. I thought it was weird at the time just because I thought, well, everything's closed, where are you going? And it wasn't like they had loads of suitcases to go to the airport, so maybe they knew the right people, were in the right place, and obviously went to a private villa last night. Be interesting to try and find them, see if that's what they did, have a conversation. Don't think I'd do it myself, just as I said earlier, I'm trying to be a bit more, you know, sort of sensible with it, but it just goes to show that, you know, like we were having house parties and stuff back in England in the lockdown and obviously flaunting the rules. Not me personally, but I know that people were. So obviously that's their version of this here. They don't actually have like track and trace here as well. That's a question someone asked. So I think it's just England's big like £1 billion flop, or billions of a flop. But you don't really need it. I think, you know, like I haven't heard nothing like, you know, there's no major COVID cases. I mean, up in the north I know there's obviously some areas of outbreak, but down here in the south I haven't heard or seen anything. I know back today that Spain just avoided the red list, which was very good for me. Was kind of worried I'd have to isolate for even longer back home and get a hotel and pay money, and that was a little bit worried for me. But I kind of thought, well, if that's what's going to happen, I'm already here. In fact, I probably would have just stayed on, found another hotel maybe further down south and just stayed, and not necessarily flown home at the end of the week. But that didn't happen. Touch wood, it doesn't change before I get home. So now I'm just at the end of the marine front where all the restaurants are. I would kind of turn the camera around and show you, but I think I'm a bit conscious of like trying to show off too many people, just because obviously, you know, I don't mind being on the camera and stuff, but it's kind of always respectful to ask if someone wants to be on it. I mean, I've been just filming throughout the last few days and stuff, and people have just inadvertently kind of been on the film, and no one's actually said anything or had an argument with me about it. I mean, I've had a few funny looks, probably because they're wondering why I'm just walking around talking to a camera, especially when I'm on my own. It's not like there's people around me, but I suppose, you know, this is what I do, so I'm used to it by now. You know, at first you kind of feel a bit daunted and I wouldn't say necessarily silly, but you feel like you shouldn't be doing it. But once you've had the few funny looks and people look at you or whatever, you just get on with it. But I mean, like, I'm going to show you in front of us now, but you just wouldn't think there's a global pandemic. It's not as busy as behind me. Let me just get past this lady and I will show you how busy it is down here. Still trying to get round. So yeah, I mean, it's not quiet by any stretch. I mean, I was here earlier, and it was probably just as busy, maybe not. I don't know, some parts look busier than they were a few hours ago when I was walking down, but you can just see there's people everywhere getting ready to go out into shops, just fulfilling the touristic needs, basically. So they're obviously making a killing. You know, you've got some people like me who are casually dressed, just out, obviously doing what I do, and then you've just got, like, you know, hundreds of people fully dressed up, ready to go for dinner, family outings, couple dates. You know, you've got a private boat there. So I think, as far as I'm aware, that must be like a catamaran cruise. So yeah, and you got the hop off, hop on bus tour over there. I think I was talking about the bus earlier. Obviously the bus, I didn't know there was a boat here. I think I might have seen it earlier, but not actually paid much attention. So again, I've learned something new. I don't think it's open. We've just got people around taking photos, trying to get the right shot with the sun down coming. So obviously, although I spend most of my life on a camera, I don't actually take that many photos of myself, so maybe that's something to do for the future. We'll see. Obviously, just on the way now to meet my friend. She was later than I expected, but to be fair, the Spanish people are always very lax with time. I've learned that over the last week. Kind of knew it from when I was younger and I was working, you know, in a bar, and I'd been travelling here before in different places, but I think you just get used to everyone expecting you to be on time in England. So then, like, you know, you're at a bar and you don't get service in 5 minutes. It's not because they're being rude here, it's just that's the way they do it. Whereas in England, you know, you'd be tapping the bell, calling someone, trying to get a bit more like hurry on, but you don't need to here. It's just everything's so lax, and obviously the way of life is just so chilled that it's not necessarily about being in a rush all the time. I think that's one of the nice things, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I was in a bar earlier, like I said, and obviously the bartender was from England, so we were having a conversation about COVID. We were like chatting about a few things and whatnot, so that was enjoyable. I actually liked that. Kind of made me realise that I do miss home a little bit. Maybe not as much as I should. I'm not like looking forward to the flight home at the end of the week, and I'm not planning to you know, cry about being out in the south of Spain. 1 second, I also need to check my phone again because I think I might be running late now. I said 10 minutes and I'm pretty sure, I know that's someone DMing me, lo siento. She's seen it but she hasn't answered, so if I'm running late she'll message or ring, so that's fine. So for now, obviously it's getting dark here. Obviously the sun has actually gone down, but you've still got a bit of light on the far side, so it's quite nice. You still have to get used to people just like staring at you while you talk to a camera. It is quite humorous. Yeah, one of my friends earlier messaged me, Kieran. He'll probably watch this when it comes out. Was asking about the air down here at the beach. The air quality is so, it smells like salt air, but it's so fresh. I mean, you get a bit more breeze where we are now as opposed to in the centre, central de Malaga, just down here where we're going now. But the air quality is actually really good. Obviously, you live in a city where you get used to the high levels of pollution. I think I touched on this earlier, saying, you know, that the actual quality there where we are is actually so bad, and you don't really appreciate the severity of it until you're somewhere else where the air is so clear. The one thing I haven't actually seen much of while I've been here, saying that, although they are trying to be a lot more environmentally friendly, is electric cars. I think I've seen a few Teslas. I know at the moment the city of Birmingham are trying to make a clear air zone, and that's a big part of, you know, this whole initiative to change the dynamic of the way people drive and the way people travel. And you know, I can get behind it. I just don't think it's worth £8 a day at the moment. I think there should be, like, you know, a discount scheme or a membership for people who work in the city. You know, at the end of the day, as I say to most people, you pay taxes from when you're born until you die. You don't necessarily want to add another daily tax just to drive a vehicle on top of the vehicle taxes and stuff you pay. But yeah, so I haven't really seen many electric cars. I found the scooter point, which is back over there by the lighthouse, so I did find it in the end. I didn't actually look how much it was. I probably should have, because I'm quite interested to go and do that tomorrow. Just whiz around for an hour, put some sun cream on and enjoy it. But we'll see where the day takes us. Yeah, so obviously, like I say, currently I'm on the way to meet my friend. This big yacht is still here from earlier, the one I shot. I mean, it's just incredible how huge it is. I mean, imagine living on a yacht that big. Like, would you get lost to find the bathroom, do you reckon? I mean, if you didn't know it, of course, but I mean, like, somebody obviously owns it. It's not like it's a rental. You don't, you know, you rent a car, but you don't rent a yacht that's like twice the size of a house. Probably 3 times the size of a house, maybe. Got a guy playing piano in front of us, so my voice will just get a bit distorted, I think, right now. So that's fine. So I just get used to like sliding through people. So I mean, there we are. A bit of evening music for me, you know, tiddle me off to bed. But yeah, look at that. That is just incredible. Surely that is like, oh, the Marion Queen. Can't see what it says underneath, but I'm guessing that is probably like a hotel, maybe. I mean, it's probably even more expensive than mine, to be honest. But then, I'm not a big fan of boats. I mean, I have to take anti-sickness tablets to go on a boat. So I obviously don't have any with me right now anyway, so even if I was lucky enough to get the chance to be on there, I'd probably have to take some just to make sure, you know, I keep it all together. But yeah, just coming to the end of the marina now, I think. Yeah, just down here. And after we get to the end of the marina, we can walk to the centre. I'm supposed to meet in the centre, but we didn't actually say where, so this could be like a long night of me trying to find this friend of mine. You're all probably wondering why I'm not using her name, purely because if she doesn't want to be on the camera, I don't really want people to know who she is. It's just a bit of respect, as I was saying earlier about recording and stuff. I don't tend to put people on too much unless they're more than happy to. I mean, if it happens by accident and someone had a complaint, I'd sort it. I'd probably try and get rid of as many people's faces as I can, but we'll see what happens. I mean, she might be more than happy. She might find it quite cool. I know she does her own blog about Malaga. She's actually from, I don't want to say too much, but she's from South Korea. She speaks 4 languages, so that's pretty fucking cool. Like, I mean, I can touch a bit of languages. I mean, wouldn't say I'm fluent in any, not even Spanish at these points. I got enough to get by. I mean, I've done so good so far. But yeah, I think she speaks 4 languages fluently, so I'm absolutely astounded. I mean, I speak, what, 3 touch and go? And I'm, you know, I'm impressed by that. I think I use that quite a lot to people. I know bits of a few other languages, but I wouldn't say I speak them, just because I probably know how to say hello, goodbye, and I don't know, like thank you or something. Just a few like snippets of a language. But I don't say I speak it because I know 5 or 6 words. So here we are at the end of Marina now, thank God. It is still very warm. I think it was 29 the last time I've done a temperature check. The camera at the moment is still working, which is good. Yeah, like I say, I need to find the last battery, which I don't know where I put it saying that. Oh, got a bit of action. Yeah, so obviously try and meet this girl, a friend of mine, should we say. I think we're just going to go up to the top of the hotel. Obviously, I think we're going to the rooftop bar. Just going to have a few drinks, catch up, have a conversation. Be nice. Haven't really had to speak to that many people while I've been here. Obviously the way it is, and obviously the fact I'm not with anyone means when you're in bars and you're asking for a table for one, or in a restaurant, you don't really get many people, have a conversation. Although recording has kind of got me into quite a few conversations in the last couple of days, where I've been just sort of logging and people have messaged me asking what I do and what my lifestyle is and where I'm from. So that's always a good start into an icebreaker of a conversation. So it is quite nice, but I think for now I'm going to try and cross this road in a minute, because I have a tendency not to do very well at crossing roads. So I will be back shortly, guys.